Hi everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back to Creepy 13. I still don't know the name, the proper name, because in my head I always change the name to something else. But nonetheless, we are here to do something creepy. And as you know, I am doing a Valentine's Day series. How do I love you? Let me count the days. And today is day 13, which is also the day that I'm doing collaboration video hosted by Wonder and Dreamer 555 here on YouTube. Everyone is participating should be in the description box by now. If not, I'll have it. Just come back and check. Or you could just go to her channel. She's way more put together than I am. I just pretend to be a crafty person, which sometimes I fail. So what the collaboration is you can create something Valentine, excuse me, something Halloween themed for the month, one thing the 13th. And she did not say it had to be cards only. So what I wanted to do is make this, I wanted to incorporate my thing with this, which is the Halloween thing. You know, I always say I love Halloween. I don't really like celebrating Halloween, like I don't get all dressed up, but it's fun. It's just fun to pretend and do those things. So I do get dressed up, but I don't like go all out yet. Um, but nonetheless, I thought it'd be really cool. This is a couple, you know, I'm doing the Valentine's Day thing. I thought it'd be really fun. So sit back, listen to me ramble on, and I hope you enjoy. We're going to be coloring just one image. I got this from wootjunior.com, but I just typed in sugar skull couple. I thought this would be really Valentine and Halloween theme. Also, I want to say that I am cold in my house. Cold in my house. Anyway, uh, crazy. So I have on a sweatshirt. You've probably seen this sweatshirt in a few videos now. Um, I do change clothes, just not sweatshirts. I put it right back on. So let's go ahead and get started. I also want to say that if this falls through, we're going to be using this cute. Of course, I can drive a stick. I think that's cute. I would have to get a more creepier witch than this. You know how they say if the shoe fits or if the broom fits, drive it or something like that. That would be really cool. But anyway, I'm using some Prisma color pencils, and I got these a long time ago, 2019 to be exact. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just pull out a few colors, come back, and we can get started. All right. So first thing is we're going to color these leaves up. We're only going to do one image, but I got two so you can see that you could just find the image and then put them on. I put this on a Word document to color up. And so first we're going to go ahead and pick some colors. Yeah, I want to make this green and then this flower be red. And we can do some pink. So I did print off on my printer. And I just have a regular, I think it's an inkjet printer. I think. Not that that's important. I don't think that's important. The ink does not run though. It's a Canon something or other. I like my other printer that I had. It's much more user friendly than this one is. And I always find that it's very interesting how, at one point in my life, I used to be tech guru in the house, tech guru in the office, master unjammer of paper. That was me, right? Like, if you had a problem, they came and got me. Now I'm like, support. Like, I have to go to support and figure out why it's not working. Because, you know, for the most part, you should be able to just plug a print up and go. Nope, this printer is wireless. It has to have Bluetooth. It has to have all kinds of just stuff that I didn't per se grow up knowing how to do. And it's okay. So I've been learning, I've learned a few things. So we're going to make all these little sprigs. I feel like this is going to be very easy to color. I did pull up some images to look at, and for the most part, their face is white, and then just certain things about it has pops of color. So that should be fun for us. And we're going to do a real time color. I'm gonna do 30 minutes. And so if I don't finish this today, you'll have to come back in March to see, right? No. If I don't finish it today, then I just don't finish it today. I'll show you a later time the completed project. I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm gonna make a card just so you know. it will be a card, but this is going to be a huge image. And I want to put like something creepy, like "To Death Do Us Part" or "In Death I Still Love You." Something creepy, romantic, and weird. Like, when Olaf tells Anna some things are worth melting for. That's pretty cool and awesome. You're like, oh, they're willing to die for this person. Then you're like, oh, a little bit on the morbid side, but yeah. So we're using canary yellow to do this flower. I wonder why they didn't put a rose in her hair. That would have been cool, I think. I cleaned my mat off and it still has that crap on it. I scrubbed it with some cleaning soap and some conditioner, and it still did not get it clean. I scraped it and everything. So I am going to be looking up some videos or information on how to clean a mat, which is quite weird. And I think I want to color this not peach, off-white creamy color to give it that color that I want. I want it to be gray, ashy looking. So that's what I wanted to go for. I'm just gonna line that like that. Then we're gonna go back in with that yellow, and this is orange. Yep, orange. I do like when they have words, colors on their, any brand has colors on their product, because maybe you see a color that you like, not necessarily you want to do this project, but you see a color that you like and you're like, oh yes, I really want to try that. And we can't do it because we don't have the colors. All right, so we're going to pick some colors for us to choose on these people's faces. And we're going to go with blue probably. I think blue is a good color. Blue or green is always a good color, right? So I think we're going to go with blue right here. So we're going to make this green. I hope y'all had a great weekend. My weekend was pretty uneventful. Like seriously, I didn't do much of anything. So we're gonna use eggshell. I think eggshell will work good. So let's go ahead and use this color. This is artichoke. I've been in a coloring mood lately, a lot more than I have been in the past. Like, I like to color, but lately I've been coloring more than normal, which is great. I'm able to just kind of drift off into a different mindset. I think we'll make her eyes blue. Now, I like this little case that it has. I'm just pulling out a few colors and we'll pick a color. I'll make her eyes true blue. Let's see how true it is. Cause she's squinting on us. What's going on? I don't know. Ooh, this looks like that salty ocean dye ink that we have, which is fine. Cause really, is this her eyeball? Like if you are, never mind. We won't even get into it. We will not get into it. Now I'm going to go around and all of these, I'm going to give her some red lipstick or whatever color this is. Crimson Lake. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Very nice. This is my first time ever doing a sugar skull. Like, I don't know the whole meaning behind all of it, but I think it's very interesting how different cultures celebrate different things. And I think, not that I would think that this would be something that I would incorporate in my life, but I find it so interesting that and loving and endearing that people still, they still want their family members to know that they love them and care about them even if they're not here. And I definitely, that resonates with me. We're going to make this magenta. And then I think we'll color this yellow. purple color, maybe purple. But I've did a little bit of research on. I've read up on it. I'm like, this is just neat. At one point, my son used to watch Disney Junior a lot, and they had this little cartoon show called Vampirina on. She's a vampire who lives in the city. She makes friends with mortals, right? And that's the whole setup, right? I had to set that up for everybody. Prismacolors are so creamy. Anyway, I like that. It makes me think I'm coloring with a crayon more so, but it has like heavier pigmentation, which is always nice and fun. Um, Vampirina, they were a hotel, hostel type of thing. They B&B probably is a better way because they live in the house and then they have guest room that the guests can rent out. And usually the guests are ghosts, goblins, ghouls, anybody in the afterlife, or vampires, werewolves, zombies, all of that stuff. Because they are, after all, fictional characters themselves, right? So one episode they had a family that came and they were celebrating, what is it called, De los Muertos? Well, this ceremony they were doing that, and Vampirina, the little girl, her uncle Dieter is the house that they live in, and he's on the painting, and the painting moves. So it kind of gave me like Harry Potter vibes, with the moving paintings and stuff like that. So she doesn't know much about him, and so she wants to talk to him, but she doesn't know like about him, and so they go around, and they say if you offer this, if you've pleased your family members, even in the afterlife, they'll come. They'll come and let you know that you've been pleased or whatever, or they'll accept the offering or something, something similar to that. And so she's very worried that she didn't do a good job, and so she's like trying to pretend like she knows him. And then in the end, he does come, and they get to spend a couple of seconds together, I guess. It's cartoons. They get to spend some time together, but she's struggling because she's like, I don't know. She doesn't want to admit that she didn't know him very well. Whereas the other little kid knew the person that they were going to be offering stuff up, and she has to work through that. So the show is very cute in the premise that you have to work through some of your emotions and feelings and own up to when you do wrong stuff or you're not right about whatever it is that you've done. Um, the bad part is it's no real consequences for it. Like if she lies to get her way, which this is probably going to be controversial to say. If you have kids that lie and you let them keep on going and going and going, that's fine. That's that person's life, but there has to be some type of repercussion. It's not always a spanking or a form of corporal punishment. But if you lie, what is the form of teaching that shows them that this is wrong? And a lot of cartoons don't really have that, whereas some cartoons and little kids book that I've read now for the past 7 years, they actually do have repercussions. It's this book, I can't think of the whole name. It's a little series. Her name is Francine. I think she's not a mole rat, a hedgehog, maybe she's a hedgehog or squirrel or raccoon, some type of rodent animal, right? And she doesn't want to go to bed. It's like good night, Francine, I think it is. And I think about that because my mom used to always tell me good night, Irene. Anyway, um, so we're gonna do. I'm thinking. Let's do two colors. Let's do orange and so these two colors are. Let's see how close they are. No, we won't do this one. We're gonna do poppy. pale vermilion, and let's get a green out. I said a green and pull this out. I'm gonna color this flower though real quick. So she keeps waking up and her dad is like, go back to bed, Francine. And she gets up. She's like, what if this happens? He's like, go back to bed, Francine. And they go through the whole thing, and he's like, he goes through all the emotions of being a patient parent, in my opinion. He's like, go back to bed. He gets up, he appeases her, and then she study. Let's see, yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Oh, we need to erase this, I think. Yeah. So, he goes through all of it, like getting up, and she keeps getting out the bed. He's like, go to bed. And eventually he says, you know what's going to happen? She's like, I'm going to get a spanking or a whipping. It's an older book, of course, because I think now people would be up in arms if you said that. So, she eventually goes back to sleep and goes to bed. I was shocked to see that. And even Llama Llama, like they're in the store and he's having a tantrum. And the mom is like, she doesn't spank him. Of course, she don't spank him, but she's like, she's like, you will not act like this. This is what's going to happen. And basically, she's saying, get your act together, kiddo. And for the most part, he pulls it together. The only thing I don't agree with is she still rewards him at the end, which, I mean, it's her kid. She can do whatever she wants to and for him, right? But I don't think I really rewarded him just because um, the agreement is if you go, behave, blah, blah, blah. Um, but she kept her end of the bargain. Oh, we already done broke coloring too hard. And let me tell you, before I started, I was like, let me get the pencil sharpener. I was like, nah, it'll be good. We won't color that hard. It's gonna be quick. We don't have to worry about it. Nope. She broke it. She broke it. She's pretty easy to color, I think. Her bow may not be because he has all these little colors on his hat, and I want to try to color all of them. Unfortunately for us, ow. We're gonna take this brown. It says mineral orange, but we're gonna take it and use it as a brownie color. So yeah, with Vampirina, she'll do something. She's like, I'm sorry, and they're like, it's never like a for real consequence. And no, you don't have to spank or whip or discipline your kids, to show a consequence like that. But you could definitely take something away from them, a punishment of some sort, because I feel like she's not learning her lesson because she'll continue the next week. She'll do something and the same thing happens. Oh, don't do this. So, at one point in life, do you learn? And some people take forever to learn not to do the same dumb thing, expecting different results. Um, and some people learn. Like I was that kid that you didn't have to tell me 50 times to stop doing something. I didn't like being embarrassed by my mom. I didn't like spankings because they hurt. I was not that, I wasn't that kid that was like, I'm going to challenge my parents. My son, on the other hand, that child, he's like, oh, this what we doing? Okay, let me see. So we just lined it with that, and this is called pumpkin orange. Just gonna come in and color this. Now I was thinking it would be cool to see a digital coloring of this, so I may have to go. I don't know if I still do on my phone, a digital coloring app that I had. and I would color on it, and I was like, oh, I could turn these into like ephemera pieces and things like that. But I'm always mindful of terms of agreement and things like that. Not that I would go and try to sell somebody else's work, their artwork of the drawing and things like that. I just, I didn't. Some companies have turned me away from even wanting to showcase their products on the channel in general. So I have to be mindful of that. Very mindful. At this one spot where I do the card trading, it's this lady that has a booth, and all her stuff is like this, very pretty. It's like gemmed out canvases, purse, handbags, little pockets, all kinds of very interesting handcrafted things, or maybe purchased because I live close to Mexico. So I think that they probably go to the border and get it. I really, really wanted to go to Mexico. From what my friends tell me, or right by El Paso, Texas, they have these stores that you can go and buy lots of cool things. And my thing is never like, oh, I'm going to go buy it and sell it. My thing is like, oh, I want to buy it and keep it and have it collect dust in the closet somewhere. More so than anything. But they're like, yeah, they sell statues. And, it's all unique stuff because if you don't go there, you don't know about it. So it's always interesting. I remember when I was on Instagram, it was this one lady I followed. She was an artist. She would color, and I used to love her work. I was very much learning, her learning how to do stuff from her. And then I stopped. I deleted my account, so I stopped learning because it was like those little quick pop-ups that you get. It's like how to color shadows, and it would show you. I've watched Poet Spice a few times when she talks about it. A few people I do follow on YouTube that are very great at coloring. I was like, ooh, that's so pretty. I'm gonna go back in with the original color that I lined the hairs out with. I'm just gonna color over some of those spots. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and color her cheeks. We probably won't get a chance to color her mate much. And now I want to take this eggshell, excuse me. Yes, perfect. Doesn't have a gray color like I wanted it to, but it's going to do the job. I think I just wanted to make sure that I didn't leave it white. Because I told y'all about leaving stuff white. If it's supposed to be white, then color it white. That's what I've learned. But I feel like this gives it more color. I wonder if other cultures do celebrate this tradition, holiday. It's a big deal here where I live, kinda. Like not a lot of people say that that's what they're doing, but they always have. parades, festivals, and things like this. So we're going to go ahead and color this in. I think we're going to make his flower a dark purple. I think we're going to try to use this color right here for that one. Then eggshell. All right. Nope. I don't think I would have been able to justly color that flower that deep of a purpley black. Maybe gray would have worked for us, but we didn't get it done. We didn't do it. This is working out. I do like that it has like that crayon color because I always just sit here and think I used to have a Casper the Friendly Ghost coloring book. You know, back in the day, coloring books were not cheap, and I used to color in it. Him and Wendy, and I used to always ask my mommy to color in, color in the coloring book. And I had a few pages. And when you're an adult and you can color, and you color in your kids' coloring book, you can tell the more mature choice. Like even when I look in some of my son's coloring books, I never color in his coloring books, so we can clear that up because he'll go back and color all over the work that I've done. But other people color in his coloring book, and he leaves those images fine. Like if I draw something with him, I usually just draw a little raggedy house, not because I can't draw a better house, but that's the quality of houses that I can draw. A triangle and a square on top. So, I was gonna say when when you go back and look at the mag in the coloring books, you can see like if a more mature artist has colored in there, and not necessarily a better one, but like you're in the lines. The person's in the lines. They the colors match. Like Wendy had on a red dress, Casper was white. And back in the day, the coloring pages were like newspaper print, old school newspaper print, and so you could get that creamy white. Like this, you can see that this is not white, but this is how white would show up. Like it would be white on the coloring paper. So I love that coloring book. And I only use colors. Like nowadays, kids want to use markers and fancy pens to color, and it just ruins the other side of the page. And I know they don't know that just yet, but I'm like, no markers. So I've brought him like coloring and drawing pages to color in and draw on and things like that. He still wants to use markers and pens. All right, we're gonna go back over it one more time with this one. Yes. So that purple was the other color was a little bit too dark, but I think this is working out for us. And I am trying to be gentle because I want to press down and break the lead. These crayons have been sitting for a long time waiting to be used, just waiting. And we want to make sure that they shine. All right, so we're gonna I think we're gonna go with a blue, a blue and a purple maybe. But I don't want. I want it to be. Let's see. No, a lighter blue and maybe a deeper purpley color. So maybe these two colors. This one's called Sky Blue Light and Imperial Violet. So let's see. I think that might work. So let's go ahead and color around. Somehow the crayon loses the heart. When we come back to make our card, I'll probably do that in marker just to see, and it'll be a totally different vibe, I think. I think it's looking good so far. Let's do a few more minutes. I don't want to hold you hostage, considering that it's just coloring today. And we'll probably do the card on the following 13th, just because we could tie up loose ends. So we're going to come in with this hat. You really can just get lost in thought or whatever, whatever you're thinking about. You can get lost in that. It's so interesting that these are supposed to be like bones, I guess. This is a bone that's colored on. Very interesting. All right. We're just going to finish this hat really quickly. I think. Hopefully, I can do it in 3 minutes. Let's see. If not, we'll come back in March and we'll do a card. I'll give y'all 2 cards, 3 cards, hopefully, 4 cards. I always find that the ladies look really pretty in events and festivals, but when they make like the costume for the men, it's always like, I feel like it has to be more elaborate than the ladies because ladies always get a lot of love in costume designing and stuff like that. So, like I looked up a few pictures. Like I said, I looked up a few pictures, and some of the men kind of just have on like a black coat and things like that. So when I was choosing, I was like, I want to make sure that we give him bright, bold, distinct colors as well, not just for the ladies. And she doesn't. She just has a flower, so you can't see. I was going to use my Prima Jamie Doherty stamp to do this, but I was like, nah. Let's just find something that is accessible to everyone. Everyone can find an image, and if they want the color, we could color together. Hopefully that makes sense. The one thing I do not care about coloring is that I think markers I feel like markers get the job done so much faster. So at a certain time, I'm like, I'm tired. I need to take a break. I don't want to color anymore. I wanna see the finished product. And this is a small surface, like it's a large surface, but it's really a lot of small little details. And you see, it's taken us a while to just do that. I am enjoying it though, thoroughly enjoying it. All right, well, I'll say thank you all for watching. Please click on the description box to see what everyone else has done. Hopefully, it's a completed project. I do want to say that I will come back and we will make cards once both of these images are colored. And again, I got it from woojunior.com. If you're interested, you could probably go there and find it. So I want to say thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay creepy.